It's been a stellar opening day of competition at the Maui Women's Pro. Our world champ Tyler Wright, one of the headliners to move straight to round 3. Carissa Moore, Steph Gilmore, all part of the big highlight reel on the opening day, and continuing on into some heavy sudden death heats to make our first eliminations, as round 3 is already stacked and ready to go to potentially get out in the lineup first thing in the morning. Welcome to the WSL Post Show. Joe Trappell alongside 89 world champ Martin Potter. Potts, it's always fun being back here in Maui, but also coming into the first day of a waiting period at any venue and getting so much work done today.
Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, when we rocked up this morning, it looked dead flat. You know, it's one of those spots really that, the sun needs to come out, it needs to warm up, and then the waves sort of meander around the corner. So, I mean, as far as that goes, we've had a fantastic day, and we've seen some pretty good performances from most of our top seeds.
So quick delay this morning, and then we finally got underway. We saw a little bit more consistency, and we're stoked to sound that first horn. First heat, we saw last year's runner-up of the contest, Sally Fitzgibbons. Former quarterfinalist Joanne DeFay go down to a rookie named Keely Andrew. Keely dominated that heat, and you saw what's happened to DeFay and Sally since this big win for Keely Andrew. This was a huge moment for the Maui Women's Pro.
Absolutely. I mean, this young lady, obviously the pressure's off her right now. She's put herself in that requalification situation, so she just went out there and had fun. And I mean, this is the kind of surfing that we've missed from this young lady. We've always known that the talent base has been there. We've always known that, she's on the world tour for a reason. Why? Because of this kind of surfing, and finally we get to see it. I mean, look at the attack mode. Just, precise, clean surfing. Comes from the Sunshine Coast, so she's used to these beautiful, long, roping right-handers, and I'm just glad that we got to see finally some of Keely's best performances of the year.
We saw Keely with a round 1 win on the Gold Coast in the season opener, but it's been a long time since we've seen that fire in that first round. Potts, your theory was that she was feeling pressure-free. Yeah. First thing in the post-season interview, she said just that. She'd requalified. She wanted to have some fun, turning into an 8.83 and a 7.0, sending Fitzgibbons and DeFay into round 2. Since then, both of those big names are out of the contest.
I've always said, you can't win the event in first round, but you can lose it by going into that round 2. And a lot of the top seeds are very unfamiliar with that ground. It's that added pressure. You've got these ladies fighting for their survival on the world tour, and all of a sudden you come up against someone that's a little bit hungrier than you, and strange things happen in round 2, that's for sure. You've got to stay out of that.
Then we saw the giant names, Potts, the ones that are expected to do well in succession, dominate, featuring world champ form from Tyler Wright, getting to surf in her first heat as the world champ here in Maui, looking for her first win. And then Courtney Conlog, Carissa Moore, all continued this run of some of the most dominant performances of the day. Tyler turning in a 15.33 total, but it didn't come out of the gates. There's a come-from-behind victory in this matchup.
And that's how she surfed her whole year. Each heat on its merits. Each heat is sort of unfolds a different way. So to be a world champion, you've got to learn how to sort of get yourself back in the game. Things might not go your way in the beginning, so you stick to your guns. Get your priority. Make sure you're in the right place at the right time. Tyler Wright, all it takes is one thing to click for her, and she's back on track. So, obviously we've seen what John's done since he won the world title. He went on to win Portugal. He's also gone on to win Haleiwa. He's looking good for the rest of the year as far as the Triple Crown goes, and I wouldn't be surprised if he walks away with a Pipeline Master as well. Tyler Wright, same frame of mind.
Also checking out Courtney Conlog, number 2 in the world, 2 consecutive seasons. Looked fired up. She said this event she wanted to already try new equipment, experiment events, so she doesn't have to worry about the title race. How'd you like her refined surfboard in this heat?
I want one. I'm collecting stamps as well. But no, Courtney, never underestimate her. We've seen the performances she's produced at Maui here over the last couple of years. 2 years ago, probably the wave of the event. Big, massive West Bowl. Today, no different. So she's on track.
Carissa Moore in the following heat threw a huge layback hack into the 6+ range for that single move on a small wave. Then a better set came to Carissa, and the score went even higher, Potts.
Yeah, she had a pair of 6s, mid-range 6s, and then just cranked it up, and that's what she's capable of doing. As soon as someone kind of narrows the gap or gets that little bit closer, she just changes gear and then moves that even further in front. maneuvers like that, I mean, innovation, progression, she had all that. She was ticking all the boxes if you look at the judging criteria.
It's such a
quite an easy win.
Performance, Potts. When you see Carissa Moore here at Honolua Bay, she gives you everything from high performance to big carves, and also getting set waves to move on to the next one. You always wonder what's in store for Carissa when she comes into the final event, not winning a world title this year, but she's won the last 2 consecutive events here in Maui. Is she going to do a three-peat this season?
Well, it's up to her. I mean, if she wants it, it's there for her. I mean, she's surfing good enough. She's on a revamped model that she rode last year, 511, so it's a little bit of a step up, which I really love. Carissa's super powerful, and if this wave does come to play, that board's just going to fit really nice with her. I think she's looking ultra dangerous.
Gilmore continued suit with a 9.5 in the next heat to move straight to round 3, and then round 2, after a brief delay, we had rain come down. Jesse Miley-Dyer, commissioner, calling round 2 heats back on, and we got to see a huge performance out of a wild card. A trials winner, Brisa Hennessy, getting her first official road into round 3. Potts, you saw a little bit of her at Bell's Beach, but you saw a lot more of her today at Honolua Bay.
Well, 3 heats today, and I guarantee if you sent her back out there, she wouldn't be unhappy at all. But the thing I loved about this heat, obviously Joanne Defay, an amazing competitor, a dangerous surfer out here at Honolua Bay, real strong back foot, real powerful surfer. And you watch Brisa on this next wave, very, very similar styles. I mean, it was basically the battle of the power game, and the rookie came out on top. I mean, just some great surfing. Real smart surfing too. There was a wave that she had where it wasn't offering her the score. She kicked out halfway, went back out, got priority, and just solidified the heat. So that's some smart surfing from a rookie. I think moving forward, she's going to be dangerous. That maneuver right there, maneuver of the heat, and tell me that doesn't look like Joanne Defay. 2 peas in a pod. It was the power game, and the rookie came out on top. Amazing stuff from her.
So impressive to see a surfer that doesn't get the opportunity to surf with a championship tour jersey on very often show up and dominate. Defay had never lost this early in Maui in her career. Her first equal 13th. Brisa, official first heat win at the championship tour level, as she'll be reseeded again to compete against the one and only Tyler Wright, our world champ.
It was a tough heat too. I mean, you look at the scoreline right there. There wasn't much separating them. It was that one turn, that big frontside gouge. Joanne Defay normally is on the good end of that. Unfortunately today, not to be.
Such an interesting round too. Malia Manuel, the only high seed to be successful in converting. The other side, it's been the low seeds coming up with some brilliant kind of clutch performances on the day today. Why did we see those surfers really rise up against the top seeds on tour?
Well, they're fighting for their life, Joe. This is it. This is the last roll of the dice for them. So they dig in deep, and you heard Rosie talk about the fact that Bianca, she should take comfort in the fact that there's nothing more for her to worry about. It's either win or lose. So when you put all that in perspective, you just go out there and surf and let your surfing do the talking, and put that aside too. Round 2 is a very familiar round for these surfers. As far as the top seeds go, they're not used to that unnecessary pressure.
Also looking at another big upset, Sally Fitzgibbons out of the contest in round 2. First round 2 loss for her in her career in Maui. We talked about her runner-up performance the year before, making semifinals, always due for a big performance in Maui. Her second 13th of her career. Her first was at Snapper, but it was Lakey Peterson. Kind of messing up the seeding, maybe in a way, if you will, because she missed half the season, coming in with nothing to lose, because even if she won the event, she's not worried about points to requalify. She's going to be applying for the injury wild card, and she had to come back to beat Sally in this heat.
You know what, I was talking to Lakey, and she said, look, I'm almost back. I'm almost at 100%. And the positive thing I can take away from that heat, I mean, she lost to Steph Gilmore, who was in sizzling form, is that she came back with an 8-point ride right at the end of the heat. So give her another 5 minutes, she might have fought her way back in, but she took that form and used it against Sally, who to me is one of the best out here. I mean, she's always on the good wave. She shows a lot of energy. To take Sally Fitzgibbons down in these kind of conditions, well, a credit to Lakey.
Lakey with a huge performance. Sally Fitzgibbons going down in round 2, and we have to think about Sally's position on tour. Coming into this event, number 8th. Oftentimes, she's in the world title race, maybe in that top 3 picture. What's happened to her form this season, Potts?
Well, I mean, she surfed at such a high level for such a long time, Joe. I think you're allowed to have a little downtime. I think this might be good for Sally. Go away. There's going to be a lot less pressure on her next year coming in, but I guarantee you that she's going to be in a world title race in this next year or two.
We can see how much Sally has done in pro surfing, multiple-time runner-up in the world, oftentimes in the mix for a potential shot at a world title that hasn't gone her way. She's had so many hot streaks, like the 44 consecutive quarterfinal performances, which was snapped
that's crazy.
by Silvana the year before, and then Bronte gave her first round 2 loss this year. It feels like the changing of the guard is obviously true. For Fitzgibbons, though, what's her hope at still being a world title threat in the future?
Well, I think one thing you can guarantee on Sally is that she's going to go home, so obviously enjoy Christmas, New Year, but she's going to be back in the gym. She's going to be working twice as hard, fine-tuning her skills, reinventing herself, working on surfboard equipment. She's not one to lie down, and you know, walking away with a loss here in this last event isn't going to sit well with Sally. She's an absolute hard worker, and I guarantee she's going to be back next year better and stronger.
Also a surfer fighting for a spot on the top 17, Bianca Batendog winning the last heat of the evening. Bianca's with Strider.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, Bianca, it took you a long time to get here from South Africa, but you're making it worth your while.
That's for sure. In the flight, after like the third 10-hour flight, I was like, listen here, you gotta definitely make the most of my time, so yeah, it's a good start.
So in the end of that heat, literally in the last 2 seconds, there was a wave that came through that your opponent caught. What was going through your mind?
You know, I'm in quite a different situation, especially towards the end of this year, and I have more of a careless attitude, and I think that kind of takes all the decoration and the unnecessary pressure and everything that you carry with you throughout the whole year. That totally evaporates, so I wasn't really thinking much, to be honest.
That feels good to be careless like that, but out in the water, a lot of surfers taking note on, you know, you're a tall girl, you have a tall frame, but you put yourself into these tight pockets really well, and you were compared to Owen Wright on his backhand, which must, I don't know, to me that would be a great compliment.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. Like when I was just entering tour, I would always keep my eye on him. The way he compresses, especially towards the bottom of the wave, and his rotations, you don't understand how difficult it is for us. Yeah, just and years of practice. So I think it's a massive privilege for me to be even compared to him. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on a heat win. We'll see you on to round 3, and we'll throw it back up to you guys on the desk.
Thank you very much, Strider. Bianca Batendog coming into a big event for herself. Obviously has to go on to win this contest to re-qualify for next season. It's a scenario that we wouldn't have predicted at the start of the year. Former Rookie of the Year, had some great results at every tour stop at this stage in her career. This year, something different. We saw her loss early in round 2 a couple of times, now putting herself in this position. Are you surprised that she's speaking so carefree, even with such a daunting task ahead of her?
No, not at all. You know, if you know Bianca, you know, she's that kind of woman. I mean, she knows the task at hand, so to speak. You know, the thing that I like about it is that, you know, up until Laura got knocked out, it was, you know, she was kind of waiting for something to happen, you know, on someone else's performance. Now it's in her own court. She determines what goes on here. She's got to go on to win it. Okay, it might seem like a difficult task right now, but strange things happen in our sport. If the waves pick up, Bianca's one of the best out here in my eyes anyway. Those big backside hooks, she's got to stick strong, and I reckon, you know, she's in with a chance.
It's always such a crazy scenario when you come to the final event of the season. Bianca wins this event. That knocks Laura out of that 10th spot as well from 11th. So we're going to be focusing on requalification as the Maui Women's Pro continues. We will say so long today and join us tomorrow bright and early for a special Thanksgiving edition from Dawn Patrol at 7:30. We'll see you then.
Turkey time.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.
Good morning from Honolua Bay. This is the Maui Pro.
And now the winner of the trial seats, Brisa Hennessy. It's rookie Keely Andrew. Solid forehand hook in the pocket. Now she's letting it unload.
Wow. Devil don't try to tame my roar. That devil know there ain't no limit to the where I'll go.
Coming up next, our new world champ Tyler Wright
Courtney now as she just bashes this wall down the line.
Carissa Moore locks in, lays down a huge carve. Got some room to belt the fins free, and she will sit on that one for the finish. As we look at Gilmore starting to really move. She is switched on and absolutely firing. Round 2 action on.
Coco, she's looking really solid. But Alessia Kuzon getting a much-needed win here.
And a big statement for the Hawaiian Wildcard, Brisa Hennessy.